For this month on the aircraft guide, I decided to do the fuel system. So that means that we're going to go into the schematic. We're going to explain how the system works. So if you go to my Patreon page here and you click on 737 fuel system, you will get the 737 fuel system post. We're going to come down here. Now you could go to the interactive overhead, which does the whole panel, but we are going to select the interactive fuel panel right here. So you click on that, and then that brings up the fuel panel. And again, all of these switches are interactive. So we're going to pick something simple here like the crossfeed, which actually allows fuel to go from one tank to the other. And when you click on it, you get the description on how it works. And now we're going to go into the schematic. So we click on schematic. It brings up this schematic of the fuel system. And as you can see, we're going to see if I can maybe move this over a little bit, and that way we can get the whole schematic in. Now you can see I left on this side, I left the panel up. That was on the post that I had on the 737 fuel system. And we're going to connect the switches and gauges and lights to the schematic so you understand. Now first, when the airplane, the fuel enters the airplane, it's going to come in here in the refuel valves, and the fuel truck will hook up one part or one hose and then open up the tanks that he needs to fill with the amount of fuel that needs to be in each tank 1, center, and tank 2. And here, the left tank is tank 1, right tank is tank 2, and the center tank is in the belly of the aircraft. Now, you can see that coincides with how the fuel pumps are. There's the center fuel pumps, the number 1 tank fuel pumps are left tank, and the right tank are number 2. So that all coincides. So the fuel comes in and it goes. Here we have the center, and if we have the center here, that goes to the center tank. We have this should be the right, and that goes to the right tank, and then we have the left tank that comes over onto this side. So that's how the fuel gets in. If we have to defuel, that's this valve right here. Now that could be that you overfilled, or maybe there is a balance problem with the airplane and you have to get fuel out of that tank to rebalance the airplane. So the fueler may have made a mistake, or a valve didn't close properly and they had to get the fuel out. And so you can see that it comes through the center, and that's defueling, where the defueling happens. So that's how the fuel comes in. Now let's look at how it goes out. And we have the tanks, and we'll start from the bottom here, the left, or the left and right, or tank 1 and tank 2. So down here we're going to start with the left boost pump, or the tank 1 boost pump, and we will go through the switches. You have aft and forward, and if we look over here, we have the forward boost pump, forward boost pump, and the aft boost pump. So this right here, the aft boost pump, is this one here. This forward boost pump switch controls this forward boost pump. So that is actually going to turn on that boost pump to get the fuel to the engine. Now if you look above it, we have above the switches, there's 2 lights, the low pressure light for the aft and for the forward boost pump. Now this light will come in when you have the forward, say the forward boost pump on, and the boost pump is going bad, or that there might not be any more fuel in that tank. So the fuel pump can't move any more fuel into this manifold here, the fueling manifold. And that, then it turns on this low pressure light here, which coincides with this low pressure light. And then the aft boost pump here has the low pressure light that coincides right here. So that all makes sense. And you can see the schematic goes up into the fuel manifold here, and then the cross feed here that connects the left end, or the tank 1 and tank 2. So that works our way up. Then we have something called, if we follow this line up, before it goes over to the side to the crossfeed, there is a filter bypass light, and that is right here. That's this light. And what this filter bypass light does is it's going to come on whenever there might be some contaminants in the filter and the filter is getting clogged, but you still need fuel to go to the engine. Problem is, you're not sure of the quality of that fuel because there's contaminants in it, but you don't want to shut the fuel off altogether. You just want to get the airplane onto the ground before you lose the engine, either through the contaminants blocking everything in the engine or the engine being damaged internally. So that goes on that side. Now, let's look at the center pumps here. Now, this is a lot easier. We have the center boost pump for the left and the right. The fuel pumps, here's the left, here's the right. So that is pushing the fuel into the manifold. And this pump, the left one, goes to the tank number, or to the left engine, just like tank 1 fuel goes to left engine through the boost pumps. This one goes to the left engine through the left boost pump for the center tank. And then also on the right side here, the right boost pump, that comes to the engine the other side. And also, you can see there is a left and right low pressure lights, as you see. And that's just for either the fuel is low or the pump is not working. And as you can tell, there's no fuel filter here because all the fuel goes to the fuel manifold, and then that manifold goes directly, as you can see here, to the engine. So that's why that sensor, there's only 2 of those sensors, 1 per each engine, and there are 6 low pressure systems for the boost pumps. Now, we went over the low pressure light, we went over the fuel filter bypass, and you can see a lot more is going on the left side, and that has to do with the APU. Now, when you turn on the APU, there's an electric boost pump here that puts fuel into it, and but if there's no electricity on the airplane, there's no way to start that APU. So if you're walk onto a dead airplane, you need a way to start that APU. And the APU, you can see here is the it siphons the fuel from the left side tank here, and it is fed into the APU. And that's to get the APU going so you can get electricity, or if you have electricity, then you can use the APU boost pump. But the APU needs a way to start. So that's part of it. The other thing is there is a scavenger jet pump here, as you can see. That's to suck more fuel, or to suck the fuel out if we lose the boost pumps. So that's to get as much fuel as we can out of that center tank in case we want to make sure we can get this fuel out. If it's not by suction feed, that we can actually pull that fuel out. And let's see, so here we have the APU shut-off valve for the fuel. It goes into the APU, and then we come down here. Now this is a little backwards. This is our fuel temperature. And the fuel temperature is, well, if we get the fuel temperature too low, then the fuel will not flow. It becomes very sticky and it won't be pushed into the engine until then we can light it. So you have to make sure that the temperature is above a certain temperature. Don't have that limitation here on me. So that is this temperature here. And then we have the engine valve and the spar valve. So we have here the engine shut-off valve, and then there is another one that comes in for that, and that is the spar valve, which actually isn't on this diagram, but the spar valve brings the fuel from the tank through the spar, then the spar holds the engine onto the wing, and then there is a second valve for that gets the fuel on board. So there's actually two valves to get the fuel to the engine. So we have all of these switches. Let's see if I've missed anything. We've gone through the engine, spar valve, boost pump, those lights, the aft boost pump, right, and okay, the aft boost or the APU boost pump, the scavenger pump, the fuel. I think we've hit everything on the fuel. So that's how the fuel goes. It goes into the wings, the tank 2, tank 1, and the center tank. The center tank has the most fuel in it. I forgot to mention that. We don't see it here, but it usually has more than the wings right now because there is more room in that part of the aircraft. So it'll hold more fuel most likely than the center tanks. But that may also change if they have smaller tanks in the center. But most likely they'll have a lot more fuel in the center. The fuel comes in, it's pumped into, as you can see, all the fuel goes into this manifold, all right? And that the manifold then allows the fuel to go to the engine. So you have fuel coming in from the center and from the tanks, from the forward boost pump and the aft boost pumps on both sides. This is all going to this manifold. And then there is, forgot this switch here, the crossfeed. And what the crossfeed does is it opens the both fuel manifolds. And what that is doing is it's allowing fuel, say that you need to balance the fuel, or if you lose an engine and you've got a while to go, you want to make sure that the fuel load is balanced. So you will open that crossfeed, allowing the fuel to go between the engines. And if you wanted to balance the fuel, what you would do is say there's more fuel in this tank, in the tank 2, than there is in tank 1. You would open the crossfeeds and make sure that that valve is open. Then you would make sure that the number 2 tank over here, that its boost pumps are on, and that these boost pumps, because this has less fuel in it, there's less fuel here, less fuel in tank 1 than in tank 2, just make sure we get that right. So we want to move fuel from here to this side, so we turn off these boost pumps, and that restricts the amount of fuel that's going to go into the fuel manifold, basically turning it off. And then all the fuel from the heavy side will come in, and that makes a difference when it comes to handling. The trim might be off because if you have way too much fuel on one side, it's going to cause the swing to go down. But also on landing, for the stresses on it, there might, in some aircraft, there's even limitations. So that is the crossfeed. So there you have it. There is the fuel system, how it works to get into the engine, and hopefully I've piqued your curiosity on this. You can look in, again, this whole panel on this side. Let me see. On this panel, if we go to the interactive panel on this side, see if it'll do it. It's not going to do. There it goes. All of these lights and switches are interactive, so you can click on them and then go to those switches and learn about each of the switches in this panel. So it's all interactive. You can go over all the information, and hopefully you find this very, very helpful and very informative. And if you would, if I could ask, if you wouldn't mind telling more of your friends who are interested in the 737 to please join this site. Please support me in creating this panel and getting it live. And then hopefully then we'll start going through procedures, and I'll bring the procedures on. But I do need some financial support to keep this going online. That's why I'm charging you. But for the first 50 people, we still have some spots open. For the first 50, you will be able to get this site for 20% lower than what I normally charge. So that is a huge savings. I know some of you are starting on the 737, starting your flight career, and you're looking to save money. The first 50 of you, you will be able to save 20% more than anybody else, and that's only $4 a month. But that price will never ever go up as as inflation creeps up. I'll have to increase what the price is for this, and you will never ever see an increase. So please, please tell all your friends, please tell them to join this tier. And if you're not part of the paying tier, I hope you join right now. And once again, for all your support, I thank you.